So, welcome everyone to Nice From Education. Today we're taking a look at StrataLogica, and we have one of our certified facilitators with us today, Miss Melissa Knowles. So, Melissa, I know you've already got control of the screen. I'm going to go ahead and let you take over, and I'm just going to mute myself so that we can hear your presentation without any background noise. So, if you would, Melissa, thank you for being here, and I'll let you take over now.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Melissa Knowles, and I have been a teacher for 12 years. I'm currently in the library and at elementary school, and I really enjoy utilizing StrataLogica. So, getting started today, we're going to work with the dynamic power of StrataLogica. How can you use it in your classroom, interdisciplinary, all day, every day? We're going to use the maps, globes, and atlases and look at some of the lessons that go along with those that are pre-built into StrataLogica. We're going to utilize StrataLogica with students. This is definitely a product you want the students in their hands so that they can use, learn, and manipulate to gain a deeper understanding of the world around them. And I also want to show you where to find assistance and gain knowledge with StrataLogica while you're using it, so you can build on what you know about StrataLogica and how you can use it in your classroom. So this is the home page, and you'll need to log in. When you log in, you'll go to your home screen. Now this is your wealth of information. If you have messages from students or things that were shared with you, they'll show here. You've also got all your products available at one click here. News and information, your community. StrataLogica's home port is very user-friendly and easy to manage for you and your students. So today we're going to start in maps. So if you'll select the globe, that will open you up to a pulled out version of the Earth. Now I've gone ahead and selected the 3 sheets of paper. That's our map chooser. When I open my map chooser, the globe I'm in is in the early learning series. Now if you select by the red arrow, the drop down box, that will give you some other options. It drops it down to all of the different types of maps, from physical, land cover, political, so many different maps, including historical maps, which is what I want to work with today. I'm going to choose a World War II map, World War II in Europe, 1939 to 1942. So it zooms in to this overlaid map, part of the layers in StrataLogica. If you select the eye on the left-hand side above the 3 sheets of paper, that's going to give you your map key, all your information. So you've got the colors of the areas based on who they sided with. You have victories from each side, and you even have call-out pointers. Now if I were to select the blue arrowed call-out pointer, that's going to open up a primary document. So I get this picture of the bombing when Germany invaded Poland. It gives me some information about it. We can build on that or start a discussion with students. That could be some group work where they take each call out and then teach it to the class, learn about it and teach it to the class. So lots of things that you can do with this map that's already pre-created. Now, you may want to utilize the 2D function of this historical map rather than the 3D Earth view. So, if you select 2D under the 3 sheets of paper, it will open up a 2D map. It sort of looks similar to the atlas style, but it's giving you a wealth of information directly there with one click of a button. Now, you've got the map exactly as we saw it on the screen, except 2D. You have your legend, You've even got some other graphs that you can work with your students, like the military resources. You have one particular battle, the Battle of Britain, and you have a globe view to show where in the earth this area was happening at that time. And you do have your toolbox features there. Not all of them are available, but it will show you the ones that are available on this map. Then if you want to go back, you'll just select 3D at the purple arrow. Another great option in StrataLogica to use with the historical maps is the dual view. Now that is at the purple arrow, which is the 2 dots. When you select that, you then get 2 maps. Now you can see that the maps are the same on both sides. If you look in the bottom center at the purple arrow, you'll see an infinity symbol or a link in a chain. Now that, if you select that, it gives you the ability then to use the map chooser on one side and either select a different World War II map, as I did. I've selected the map after the previous map, which is 1942 to 1945. You could also zoom it out to a Europe view. You could go then to see what was happening in America at that time, and have the students relate that information. Lots of different ways to utilize it, but it is there for you, and you still have your features of the toolbox, your key, and your map chooser. So then, just to go back, you're going to click at the X at the purple arrow, and that will take you back to the single view mode. Now, one of my favorite features for busy teachers are the tips and lessons, which are below the dual viewer. If you select that, it opens up a pop-up on the right-hand side. The view you're seeing right now is the tips. So you can see that this is going to help you with using this map, moving around the map, selecting views, even collaborating using it with students. Now, if you select lessons, you can see that now you have a more interactive lesson for the students to use with the map to increase their learning. So you have a description, key elements, and the Getting Started section. Sorry, I said those out of order. But at the bottom, you also have your teaching notes and mapping activities. So if we select German expansion, that will open in a separate window a PDF file. Now you can see that this is step-by-step giving the students activities to use with their map on their own globe as a project or as a individual activity. You could even do it. So in a presentation, we can use this lesson to then answer the questions. So what I've done is I've gone back to the 2D screen of our historical map. Now you have several options here to do. This one is the Save view. So anytime you create a view that you want to keep, you can save it basically just as a picture. So you put in a title and a description and click Save. The other thing is your gallery at the end. Now this is where you'll save anything from the community. Any of your views, presentations, or projects will all be saved here. Now, moving forward in our using our lesson with the students, we're going to create a presentation. So I've selected New, and now I'm going to select Presentation. I'm using the very first question, which was to compare the territory controlled by Germany in 1935 and 1940. So I like to put in my description directions so the students can easily go back to that or know what they were doing on the map or what they were required to do. So that's a good way to keep the students responsible, since they can utilize StrataLogica from home or any device. Then click Save after you put in your title and description. Now, just to show you back where we were, this was the PDF lesson. So it said it forced Germany to give up territories. So in slide 1, once you've saved your presentation, title, and description, it's going to open up your options on the right-hand side. Number 1, our first slide, the options are to edit it. So I've entered a title, Germany's Boundaries After World War II, and a description. Because of the Treaty of Versailles, Germany lost territory to several countries. Now I want the students to show me where those areas were. You can see at the bottom of the screen the title and description is there. That's because under display on the right hand side, those are checked. You do not have to have that there, but it is an option. You also have an option for a duration time, or you can do a mouse click. That's for when you're presenting. If you want it to go to switch slides every so many seconds, you can set that there. You can also set a transition. There's the turtle and the rabbit, so a slow transition or a quick transition. So now this is where the students are going to use the toolbox. Fun feature of StrataLogica, where they can identify the areas that Germany lost. So the first feature in the toolbox is our marker tool, and that one I have chosen to do the circle and put a circle on each country or area that Germany lost during the Treaty of Versailles, or because of the Treaty of Versailles. I've chosen the purplish blue circles and then clicked the areas. Now you can do freehand, line, and several shapes, colors, and sizes with your marker. You can see here where I've attempted to write with the mouse, and it really, it does work if you're careful, or if you have a stylus would be even better, to actually write on the map and label places, or you could simply underline or circle using the freehand drawing, but that's a great way. My students love to draw lines from place to place and connect things using that marker tool. The next toolbox tool is the symbols. Now when I've opened it, it's automatically opened the buildings because that must have been what I utilized last. But there are so much more. If you use the drop down next to the word buildings, you can see there are just tons of different options. Pre-made numbers, so you don't have to freehand them in. Shapes. I'm going to utilize current events. And when I select the image that I want, such as the explosion or the person, and then select the map, it adds those items in, as you can see on at the purple arrow. There's also a text tool. If you see at the top where it says World War II, that's actually where you will type in the text that you want to add to the globe. You can change the color and font and size. Once you've made all your selections, go ahead and select Done, and it shows up on the map where you clicked. After that, you can move those words around where you want them just by selecting and dragging. The pin tool is wonderful. You have so many options with this tool. what you'll do is you'll click the map where you want to drop the pin, sort of like our callouts. When you do that, you'll also type in the title of the pin. You can type in a description, and now there are several things that you can do. Changing the font, change the font size, bold, underline, color, lots of options for making it look exactly how you want. Another great thing that you can do is go ahead and if you select the middle, your images, you can put images and videos with your pen or change the styling of the pen, all in the pin drop tool. So you can add in primary documents like we saw with the planes bombing. You can add in videos that relate. It's a wonderful tool to make the globe interactive. This pin, I just added text, and so it's showing the description that I put on into the box. And you can see the pin. Now, something that you want to think about when you're adding anything to the map is contrast with color and size. Make sure that it is bold enough that you can find it later and that it's easy to see. One nice feature with StrataLogica, if you were to zoom out, the pin stays the same size, so you can still see it. It doesn't get really small as you zoom out. It stays where you can see it. So that is a wonderful feature that they've added. You also have your eraser tool. So if you want to start over with the same map and utilize it again, you can erase all. Or if you had a pin that you just wanted to delete, you could go ahead and just select the object. Now I love the settings and the options. Label pop-ups is wonderful, especially if you're in a part of the earth that you don't really you can't pronounce the words as easily, or your students may need a pronunciation. They can select the title, such as Germany. The pop-up will say the name, Germany, and it will also give you some information about that area, possibly population or size. So it's a really great feature to have. Now, one thing about that is if you put a pop-up if you put one of the pin drops near the pop-up, sometimes you can trigger both. So you may want to think about that when you're adding things to your map. But it is a wonderful feature. You also have the day-night feature, which, as you can see, darkens part of the globe as if it was in night. And then the coordinates feature is really neat because if you see at the bottom right-hand side, it shows you the latitude and longitude of wherever your mouse pointer is or wherever you're clicking. So that's a really great feature for the students. The distance feature is also very fun. Now it's going to give you a straight line distance between 2 points. So what you would do is select the first point, and I selected Berlin, and then select your second point, and I selected Moscow. So you see my line between Berlin and Moscow at the blue arrow, and then you can see the distance in kilometers and miles. So that is a really neat feature just to get an idea of how far soldiers may have had to travel between 2 points. Now we're going to go to the atlas, and how we did that was simply at the top menu bar, I selected atlases. It went ahead and automatically opened to the Block Buddy atlas. Now I do want to go to the chooser, the map chooser, the 3 sheets of paper, and select a different map. So I'm going to go to the World History map, U.S. World History. Now, I want to show you some different ways to find the places you want to go. If you looked back at the PDF lesson that went along with the World War II map that we looked at and we created the presentation about, it will show you what atlas pages relate to that map. So you can have your interactive globe, you have your lesson, you also have an atlas that goes along with this. Excellent resources. So if you want to get to a certain page, there are several ways. At the top green arrow you have where you could just simply type in the page number that you were looking for. You could always just flip the pages using, at the red arrow, the green page selector. You could also look, as you see at the bottom, with the purple arrow at the small thumbnails of the pages. Click on the one, if you can recognize it, just select it, it will go straight to that page. So I'm going to type in the number at the top to access my page at the green arrow. So it took me straight to where I needed to go. Onset of World War II, which went along with the historical map that we were working with in the globe. Now you see that it gives you several maps, primary documents, photographs. It's also giving you keys and more information about that time period. So you also have your tips and lessons using the atlas. So another resource on top of what StrataLogica already offers you. So when you open under the 3 sheets of paper the tips and lessons button, it opens to tips. If you select lessons, you get a drop down of either teacher or student. So, I went to the teacher lesson without answers under the teacher box. So this is the pop-up that popped up, the PDF file, onset of World War II. So the students can work on this. They can answer the questions together by themselves. They could turn it into you if they did it on a map through StrataLogica. It's a great resource for students that may have been absent or need a little bit extra help. So we'll go back to our map, our atlas. Now, the toolbox options are still there, as I said, with the 2D feature. So you have your marker tool and your eraser option available. Now, when you open the toolbox, it automatically goes into drawing mode. That means that you can't zoom in and zoom out. There are some features that are disabled because you are in drawing mode. But you can draw or write on the page right there, and then click Close to switch back to your atlas. Another great tool that we're going to talk about now, once again in the top menu bar, if you select Outline Maps, this is another great printable or usable resource straight in StrataLogica to work with the World War II lesson also. So if you choose the Map Chooser, mine automatically goes to the United States. I'm going to select Europe, and then I have an outline map of Europe. So if I wanted to quiz the students on the countries that Germany lost during the Treaty of Versailles, they can label them right there. If I wanted them to know who were the Axis countries and the Allied countries, they could label them there. Like I said, you can utilize this as a printout or directly online. Nice thing is you also have your toolbox features here, but you have some more options. So you've got your marker tool, your symbols, your text tool, your eraser, then you have a save to a file, and you have your print. Once again, when you're in drawing mode, it does disable some features like the zooming in and out on the outline map, but you can close to click out of that and move your map at that time. So, a great option. So if they save their map, they can then email it to you to turn it in, no paper involved, or they could print if they wanted to do that, or if you wanted to do that for a quiz or for practice, or for an extra resource for the students. So let's go back to some of the things that are available. Now, I did tell you that you do have lots of support in StrataLogica. One thing that we talked about already were the tips. The tips will tell you how to utilize that map and give you some ideas right there. Another way is on your home page. If you look under tasks, you have user guides. The user guides are step-by-step instructions of how to utilize StrataLogica features. So that's going to be a great resource to you that's available right there all the time. Now, you've also got at the bottom green arrow, contact and support. And if you under that, you'll have an email address to the support. It is the fastest way to get help with StrataLogica. But if you do want to talk to someone, there are some phone numbers under there also that you can utilize to help and support you through learning StrataLogica. Another great option, which could get you some CEU credit, is to go to the community, type in a search for StrataLogica 101, and you can go through a self-guided course which will allow you to work with StrataLogica and increase your learning. You'll have some assignments to complete at your leisure, and then you can get credit for it. So we are going to go to the community because we still have more World War II features available in StrataLogica. The community opens with a search bar. So I'm going to type in World War II, and you can see already on the day that this was created, there were already 957 results in the community. So lots of resources available. So if you type in World War II, you get several options, 144, that are going to have some form of that phrase. So I'm going to choose, since I'm a librarian, The Unbroken by Laura Hildenbrand, and just check it out and see if it's going to work for my lesson. So I'll select the blue title. Now here, I love this, I get a preview feature. I can actually quickly look through each slide at the red arrow and see if it fits what I want to do. You have a description under that and to the right. So you will get a definite idea of this lesson and resource before you copy it to your gallery. So you can see then under details how many times it's been viewed, how many people have copied it. You can rate it. You can see when it was created. You know, some things do get outdated. Who shared it, and what series was utilized, what map series. So this, you know, it may fit with what you're doing, and you can use the preview, slide preview feature to determine that. So if you decide you want to copy it to your gallery and save it, you just select Copy to My Gallery. Now keep in mind, you can edit this. Once you've copied it, you can make it yours. If it doesn't exactly fit, or it may have some slides in there that you don't want to utilize, you could delete those. You can then make it your own and make it work for you. It will save to your gallery. When you click Copy to My Gallery, it will do it automatically. You may have a coworker that you think this would really work for something that they're doing. You can also click the button next to Copy to My Gallery, which is Share, and share that with people students, you can share it with parents. So you have that option also directly in the community. Now, there are some more additional learning opportunities I did want to show you, which is the www.nystromeducation.com/learning. All the previous webinars will be located there that you can access and refresh yourself or learn something new when you have the time. Then the StrataLogica 101, which I told you about already, that's in your gallery, or in your community, and you would save it to your gallery. And then you can always email Pam Gothart at nystromeducation.com for any questions that you may have. Thank you. I hope you feel like you have a good start with StrataLogica. Have a great day.